In this lesson, you will move a layer from the main web map layers into a group layer. Open up the move to group layer.py script from the group layers folder. In our previous video, we moved our NHA layer out of the group layer to the main web map. Here, we are going to move that NHA layer back into the group layer. We first access ArcGIS Online using our GIS class and supplying our home string. We'll assign our GIS object to a variable called AGOL. We then use our GIS object content manager get method supplying in our web map item ID, which I'll paste in now. The get method will return an item object that will assign to a variable called web map item. We then use that web map item and create a map object, which will assign to a variable called web map. We create our get layer index by name function. This will take in a web map item and a layer name and return the index of the layer name in the web map. Once we have our index, we can move a layer to a group layer. We get the group layer object. We use our map object content property, which is a map content object, and use the layers property and supply in index 1, which is our NPWS designated boundaries group layer. We'll assign the group layer object to a variable called GL. We then call upon our get layer index by name function and we'll assign the returned index for our NPWS NHA layer to a variable called layer index. If that layer index has been found, we're then going to move to the group layer. We use our map object, the content property, which has the move method. We set the index parameter to be our layer index, and we set the group parameter to equal our group layer object. Now, if you remember in the previous example, we set this group to none to move from the group to the main map. Now we're moving into our group layer. To commit the change, we use our map object update method. We'll assign the calling of our update method to variable called status and print status to screen. I'm going to run this script. We can see that I'm getting an error. Group layer object has no attribute underscore layer. Did you mean layers? In the API versions 2.4, 2.4.2, and 2.4.3, there is an issue with moving into a group layer. You can check out the two issues here over on the Esri GitHub. So I am in fact going to run the second example of how to move a layer to a group layer with JSON. We first get the item data as a dictionary. We use our item object getData method that will return the web map JSON definition as a Python dictionary. We'll assign that to a variable called web map item data. We are interested in the operational layers property returned from the definition, and we'll assign the operational layers list of layers to a variable called OL. Our NHA layer sits at index 3 in the operational layers, so we get the definition for that individual layer and assign to a variable called layer def. For our operational layers at index 1, we have our group layer. That group layer has a layers property that we're going to update. So we're accessing the operational layers at index 1, which is our group layer, and we're updating the layers property to add in the layer definition for our NHA web map layer. We then delete the original NHA from the root of the main web map. You can just use the delete statement and supply in operational layer list at an index of 3. We then update the original dictionary. So we set our web map item data operational layers property to equal the new updated operational layers list. We then apply the update using the item object update method using the item properties parameter, where we set a dictionary with a key of text and a value of the updated web map item data dictionary. We'll assign the calling of the update method to variable called status and print status to screen. I'll run the script. The script is complete. Let's head over to ArcGIS Online and check out the result. Here we have the current layers with the NHA sitting at top at index 3. We're going to move that into our NPWS designated boundaries. Now we simply added it to the JSON definition list for the layers inside our group layer, which means it's going to sit at index 0, 1, 2. So we should see it as the the first layer underneath NPWS designated boundaries. I'll refresh the page. And we can see our updated list of layers. The NPWS NHA layer has been moved into the NPWS designated boundaries group layer.